Good morning, everyone who are joining us both here in person and across the country. Welcome to United We's signature event, Champions for Change. My name is Kim Meacheks, NFL Network host, but also a very proud board member of United We. Good morning. We are so excited to have all of you here with us today because today is marking United We's 35th anniversary of economic impact for women, and how fitting that we're having this event here in Kansas City at CPKC Stadium. Now, this stadium was the very first stadium in the world, not just in the country, in the world, built specifically for a professional women's sports team. And the energy here in the stadium is palpable. We have over 1,000 women in attendance, feeling the energy and also the impact that United We has, not only in Kansas City and the Midwest, but across the country. We have an incredible morning ahead, including an exclusive and very special conversation with Brittany Mahomes, our inaugural Champion for Change honoree and also co-owner of the Kansas City Current. So whether you're grabbing your second cup of coffee for the day, you're starting your commute to work, or you're sitting down at your office and you're having our program alongside your workday, we welcome you in. We're going to start our program with a very special message from United We President and CEO Wendy Doyle.
Good morning, and thank you for joining our Champions for Change event. I want to extend a special, warm United We welcome to all of you across the country tuning in to this exclusive pre-show. We are especially grateful to our virtual host, NFL Network's Kim Meacheks, for emceeing today's program. Today is a truly historic moment for us as we celebrate United We's 35th anniversary. For 3.5 decades, United We has focused on advancing women's participation in the workforce. Because when women fully participate, economies grow stronger, communities are more stable, and opportunity expands for everyone. As we mark this milestone, it's fitting that we gather in a place that reflects exactly what progress looks like in practice. We are broadcasting live from CPKC Stadium, the first stadium in the world built specifically for a women's professional sports team, an example how intentional design expands opportunity and drives economic growth. And that's exactly how United We approaches this work, whether it be in the office, boardroom, or civic leadership. United We looks at systems through the unique lens and asks, what if this were built for us all? Our research solutions results model turns insight into action, translating evidence into systemic change, from expanding childcare access to increasing women's representation in public leadership. Today, we continue that work by exploring places, spaces, and systems that shape economic participation and how we work together to build solutions that actually work. We have an incredible morning ahead featuring Kansas City Current owner Brittany Mahomes alongside a panel of national trailblazers, Manit Ahuja from Forbes, Rob Cohen of IM Financial Group, governor and controlling owner, Summit FC, and Shelley Zales, founder of the Female Quotient. Together, they'll explore how investment, leadership, and environment fuel growth and help shape what comes next for our economy. As you listen today, I have 3 requests to help us fuel the next 35 years of progress. First, invest in change. We cannot do this work without your support. Please consider a financial contribution through our website, united-we.org, or the QR code on your screen to fund our vital research and advocacy. Second, expand the network. Much of our work is successful because of the relationships sparked by mission-aligned people. Think about who else needs to be at the table. Message me with organizations or business leaders who should align with the United We mission. Lastly, share the momentum. Take what you learned today and share it. In your office, on social media, or with a friend. While it may seem like a small act at the time, we know that change happens when we put collective momentum behind it. Thank you for being a part of our legacy and our future. Now, I hope you enjoy the program.
So excited now to welcome in Brittany Mahomes, our inaugural Champion for Change honoree. Now, I've covered sports my entire career, but the thing I love most about sports is also the stories behind them, the people. And you are the person that we get to honor today. Your intentional investment in women's sports and bettering your community, and also being a leader and a mentor, not only for your kids, but women across the world. So congratulations, welcome in. We're so excited to have you and to honor you. What does it mean to receive United We's inaugural Champion for Change award?
Yeah, I mean, I am super excited to get this honor and be recognized in this way, and thank you to United We for recognizing me. But I think this award really reflects, a mission that I deeply believe in. And so, continuing to expand opportunities for women and continuing to break down barriers that, hold so many of us back. And so I want to continue to use my platform to continue to support this mission, I think,
And you're doing it.
Thank you.
Now, you had a professional sports playing career, and now obviously you're not only an owner, but an investor in women's sports. Was that always the plan and the mission following your playing career?
I think when I stopped playing soccer, I definitely wanted to still be involved in this sport in some way. I love the sport so much. And so I think when I got the opportunity and the opportunity came to be in ownership and be an investment, it was just a natural yes for me. And so I was super excited that this opportunity came. And I kind of realized that if I wanted to make an everlasting impact in this sport, I really needed to get involved in it and do what I can to help build it and grow the sport.
And you quite literally built it. You built the stadium that we're sitting in, which is a feat in and of itself. But when you hear investing in women, what exactly does that mean to you?
Investing in women, I think it really means making an impactful change and continuing to create spaces for women where they can lead and they can thrive. And I think when you give women incredible opportunities and resources and financial backing, women change the world. And they reinvest into their communities, and they can open doors for others and really help grow that economic growth within their communities and within the world.
Now, I'm a mom. I know you are a very proud mom of 3 beautiful kiddos. And when you say women can change the world and we have the impact, we are quite literally the pillars of our families. And we are the ones who get to kind of dictate that economic impact. But when you think of your 3 kiddos, what do you hope that we're giving to this next generation of amazing, not only women, but advocates as well?
Yeah, I think for the next generation, I want them to grow up in a world where there's no limits in what they can achieve or what they can be, and I hope they realize that. And I hope we're creating a world where opportunity is truly equal for everyone, and a world that women are continuing to be put in powerful and inspiring positions. And I think, more importantly, know that they belong in those positions and in those spaces.
Well, your kids get to look to you as the most incredible example. So I know it's time for us to get you over to the main stage. Thank you again to everyone who is joining us here in Kansas City, but also around the country and around the world. We have so much in store, including our honor for Brittany Mahomes here shortly. So let's kick it over to the main stage as our program begins.
We are United We.
We are United We.
We are United We.
We are United We.
We are champions of women in the workforce.
We are women.
We are men.
We are caregivers.
We are leaders.
We are policymakers.
We are entrepreneurs. We are entrepreneurs. No, I'm kidding. Don't use that one.
We are researchers.
We are collaborators.
We are connectors.
We are bridge builders.
We are storytellers. We are champions.
We are champions.
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 And we are champions.
We know change doesn't happen by accident.
It takes change makers
And storytellers.
Truth tellers.
And barrier breakers.
We have spent decades
working for a future
where all of us can have it all.
however we define it.
Start a business.
raise a family.
Get a promotion.
Run for office.
A future where we listen to each other.
And work together
to make real progress.
So, what does that future look like?
The future looks like me.
And me.
and me.
We are the future.
We'll keep uncovering the barriers that block our path.
telling stories that matter,
turning that research into action
by identifying solutions.
and getting results for all of us.
Because when women win,
Women win.
we all win.
We are united, we.
We are united, we.
we are united, we.
Please welcome UMKC Chancellor Mali Agrawal to the stage, alongside our event co-chairs.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone here. What a beautiful crowd and what a beautiful day. Good morning to everyone here and to everyone joining us virtually. What an inspiring way to kick off this event today. I'm honored to be here and share remarks on behalf of all the event leaders who stand with me on stage, Kathy and David Brain, Susan Schaefer, Clay Smith, Beth Wade, and our co-hosts off stage, Jacqueline Johnson, Lindsay Kinney, Shruti Tejwani, Pooja Shah, and Patricia Shep. Let's thank our sponsors who made today happen, especially our presenting sponsor, Bank of America, and all of our generous sponsors who can be found in a digital program you can look at by scanning the QR code on your coffee cups. So let's give them a big hand. We are also joined today by nearly a dozen past board presidents of United We. I would like to ask them to stand as their name is called. Bunny Kopekin, Karen Herman, Jennifer Ingraham, Linda Jordan, Joan Ruff, Sandra Schermerhorn, Peg Van Wagner, Linda Ward, Sherry Wattenberger, and Teresa Woody. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for shaping United We's history and contributing to a legacy of impact that continues today. Now look around you. This place matters. This is the first stadium in the world built for a women's team, filled today with work by artist Rachel Hayes. This didn't just happen, it was built with intention, with vision, and with investment. And that's why we are here today. For 35 years, United We has done the same thing, using research and data to advance women's economic and civic leadership. Where United We saw barriers, it found solutions. Where it saw opportunity, it seized them. And I need to find my page here. All of this was driven by the core belief that I know all of us share. When women rise, we all win. Now at UMKC, we have seen United We's impact in our students, in our community, and in our economy. In fact, since 2017, UMKC has been proud to house the United We Archive, preserving the history of empowerment and impact for future generations. Next week, thousands of students will graduate from UMKC, and the futures are better and brighter because of United We's work. This year's theme is simple: spaces and places where women thrive. Now, as an engineer, I think about systems all the time, how they work and how to improve them. And here's what I know: small changes unlock big outcomes. That's what United We does. They find the gaps, they build solutions, they expand opportunity for everyone. So here's my challenge to each of you. Consider what you can do to be a champion for the next 35 years of change. Just don't sit on the sidelines, step in. And as Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. Build something better, be a champion for change. Thank you.
Please welcome United We President and CEO, Wendy Doyle.
Good morning and welcome to Champions for Change. I'd like to recognize several distinguished guests who are joining us this morning in support of advancing opportunity and leadership across our region. Thank you again to our presenting sponsor, Bank of America, our event leadership, and the whole team at the Kansas City Current and CPKC Stadium for hosting us. To the veterans and elected officials with us, thank you for your service and leadership. We appreciate our online audience joining us today, and thank you also to Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe, who we'll hear from shortly. Before we begin, let's build on the Chancellor's ideas. Let's take another moment and look around again at this incredible stadium. The stadium that was built for it exists because someone looked at the way of the world of women's soccer used to be and said, this doesn't make sense. The idea, build, don't wait, is at the heart of everything we're celebrating today. Progress happens with people with ideas, and they don't wait for better systems, they design. This year marks 35 years of United We. 35 years of people refusing to accept systems that leave people out. To our board members, team, supporters, and partners, thank you. The impact we make locally, statewide, and at a national level happens because of you. Let me be clear about what United We is. We are not just a nonpartisan nonprofit. We are a platform for aligning influence across business, policy, research, and culture. We've learned the challenges we're solving don't live in just one system, so the solutions can't either. That's why we bring influential people together from all parts of society. Our focus is simple: expanding women's workforce participation, not as a social issue, as an economic one. Why? Because over 3 decades, experience and evidence clearly show that the more women fully participate in our workforce, the faster businesses grow and more stable communities across our country become, and the farther opportunity expands for everyone. And when women don't, well, we all operate far below our potential. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't get nearly the attention it deserves, but should: civility. In a moment when it can feel like division is everywhere, the work of coming together and building solutions that last has never mattered more. Civility is often misunderstood as politeness, but in our work, especially today when our country is deeply divided, civility has a much more important job to do. Civility is how big decisions get made that lead to even bigger changes that matter. Civility is the ability to listen, the willingness to work across differences, and the dedication to staying focused on results even when perspectives don't align. And when you think about it, civility is rooted in common sense. That's because the challenges we face don't belong to one side or the other, and nor do the successes that come from solving them. They require people coming together to create solutions. And that's the hard part, not agreeing, but staying at the table long enough to build something that works. In the end, civility isn't a value we talk about, it's the infrastructure that allows us to build everything that lasts. Look at the region we're in. Different states, different approaches, but shared priorities. Workforce participation, caregiving access, economic growth. Progress doesn't happen by eliminating those differences. It happens by working through them. And when we come together, we start to see something important. Many of the barriers we're trying to solve aren't about talent. They're about systems. Here's a vivid example of what that means. We worked with a woman in St. Louis who wanted to build a business and build a better life for her family. She was talented at braiding hair. She was serving neighbors, growing demand. She was doing everything right. She had the skill, she had the customers, but she couldn't legally operate due to licensing requirements and a $15,000 training course she couldn't afford. So we worked to change it. We got that requirement down to $35. And when we helped knock down all the other barriers holding her back, she built her business, she hired employees, bought the building she worked out of, and invested in her community. That's what happens when systems start to make sense. That's not just one story, it's a pattern. And that's the opportunity in front of all of us, to look at the systems we influence and ask, what doesn't make sense? That's why our operating model at United We is simple: research, solutions, results. And it all starts with listening to each other. Listening reveals patterns, and patterns uncover opportunity. And that's why this pitch represents something powerful: the alignment of incredible influence. Business leaders, policy leaders, investors, media voices. This is how systems change. The future doesn't belong to those who wait. It belongs to those who build. So, how do we all become champions for change? It starts with how you see the world, challenging your assumptions and imagining how much better things could be. Can you imagine if we built systems that worked as hard for women as women work? Can you imagine how much more we could all get done if leadership in business and government truly reflected the communities they serve? Can you imagine if we weren't still having this conversation 5 years from now because opportunity, leadership, and representation were the norm, not the exception? Change how you see things, then go on the hunt with fresh eyes for something that just doesn't make sense. And when you find it, don't wait. Change it. Thank you for being a part of this work for our legacy and for our future. Let's build what's next. Let's do it together, and let's start today. It's now my pleasure to recognize a leader who understands that strong nations are built through opportunity, hard work, and connection. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe. Governor Kehoe's journey from working his way up in business to leading the state reflects a deep belief in the power of opportunity and a steady commitment to family. At United we are honored to partner closely with him. Now, please turn your attention to the screen.
Hello, Governor Mike Kehoe here. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person in Kansas City today, but I wanted to take a moment to welcome you to this event at CPKC Stadium. Events like Champions of Change are important because they recognize the work being done to expand opportunity for women and strengthen our communities in the process. As the parents of 3 young women, this matters to me and my wife Claudia in a very real way. Like every parent, I want my daughters to grow up in a world where they have every opportunity to succeed, to lead, to build, and to pursue whatever path they choose. And that starts with the environments we create and the opportunities we make available. That's why I want to thank my friend Wendy Doyle and the entire United We team, not just for your leadership, but for the work you do every day to support women and advocate for policies like access to child care that make a real difference for families. Because when women have the support and can succeed, families are stronger, and so are our communities and our economy. And I can't think of a more fitting place to have this conversation than right here at CPKC Stadium, the home of the Kansas City Current. This is the first stadium in the world built specifically for a women's professional team, and it's a powerful example of what's possible when we're intentional about creating spaces that elevate women. And that's exactly what this event is all about. So thank you. Thank you for the work you're doing, and thank you for being part of this important effort. God bless each and every one of you.
Today, we recognize a leader who didn't just succeed within a system, she helped rebuild it. Brittany Mahomes began as an athlete. She understood the discipline, the competition, the commitment. But she also saw something else, a gap between what women's sports were and what they could be. So, she made a different choice. She didn't wait for the system to evolve. She helped build a new one. As a founding co-owner of the Kansas City Current, she stepped into ownership. And that shift from participation to ownership changes everything, because ownership drives influence and investment. And that's exactly what we see here. This stadium, the first in the world purpose-built for a women's professional team, is not symbolic, it is economic. It represents revenue control, market belief, and long-term value creation. This stadium sends a clear message. Women's sports are not a cause, they are a market. And when you invest in them, they grow. Brittany represents a new model of leadership, one where women are not just competing, but building, not just participating, but owning, not just inspiring, but transforming entire industries. Brittany, your leadership is expanding who gets to play, who gets to lead, and who gets to win. So for all the trailblazing firsts you and your leadership have made possible, it is our honor to recognize you with this powerful symbol of women moving forward with purpose, and to congratulate you as our very first United We Champion for Change.
Okay, thank you. Whew. What a beautiful day it is today. Thank you, Wendy, and thank you, United We, for this incredible honor. I am proud to accept this honor, but more importantly, I am proud to stand with an organization that understands that investing in women isn't just a good thing to do, it's the smartest play on the board. Being here at CPKC Stadium means so much to me. This building alone is a powerful symbol of the incredible growth and impact our collective efforts have made for women in leadership and women's sports. United We has been laying the groundwork for 35 years, and I'm proud to be one of many women who represent the first generation to truly see what happens when women are given keys to the stadium and the boardroom. We talk a lot about setting an example for the next generation. And as a mom, my goal isn't for my daughters and my son to see women's leadership as an inspiration. I want them to see women in positions of power and leadership as the norm. I want them to grow up in a world where women owning a team or a company is the standard. And I want them to know that being a mother and an athlete, an entrepreneur, or whatever they want to be, isn't just a balancing act, it is a power move. I'm grateful for the progress that we've made, and I'm committed to do the work that's left to do. We're here to build real equity and create spaces where women don't just have a seat at the table, but they own the building that the table sits in. So, thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, let's keep building and let's keep investing in girls and women all over the world. Our future depends on it. Thank you so much.
Next, please welcome our national panel of leaders. Mani Ahuja, founder and editor-at-large, Iconoclast, Forbes Media. Rob Cohen, chairman and CEO of IMA Financial Group and controlling owner of the Denver Summit FC. And Shelly Zalis, founder and CEO of the Female Quotient. As they take the stage, Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas and Raven Jemison, president of the Kansas City Current, will be presenting scarves, a gesture with a deep tradition in soccer. Soccer scarves have long symbolized unity, identity, and belonging within the global game. From packed stadiums to supporter groups around the world, they represent pride in club and community, making this a meaningful way to honor and welcome each of today's participants to CPKC Stadium, the first stadium in the world purpose-built for a women's professional team.
Everyone. I'm honored to be here today with all of you. I'm Manita Ahuja, editor-at-large at Forbes, and I'm thrilled to be here talking about a fundamental economic and business issue, investing in women, something that is a testament to what United We has stood for 35 years. The reality is it's not just about women, it's about growth for everyone. When women are full participants in the workforce, they're funded as founders, supported as leaders, advanced as decision makers, and the impact is measurable. Companies perform better and economies expand. So joining me now to break all this down is my esteemed panelists, Shelly Zalis, founder and CEO of the Female Quotient, and Rob Cohen, CEO of IMA Financial and an owner of the Denver Summit FC. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
What better place than to be here? I have to say, it's just inspiring sitting in this stadium.
Sitting in this stadium, right? So Shelly, I want to start with you. You have built the Female Quotient into the largest global community for women in business. So I'm not sure if everybody here is familiar with that, but that is a huge accomplishment. And you have a front row seat to what's moving the needle. Women now hold nearly a third of C-suite positions, up from 17% a decade ago. So that's huge progress, but at the same time, it's going to take another 50 years to reach parity. So I would love to hear from you and to just give us a backdrop about where we stand now in the economy and where we're going to go from here.
Thank you. I love the word intentionality because I think it's so incredibly important. And designing a stadium with intentionality designed for women, by women, for everyone is really pretty remarkable. When you think about 50 years, actually the World Economic Forum says that it'll take over 132 years to close the gender gap. 132 years. Where will you be? Where will your children be? Where will your grandchildren be? And for me, that's about waiting and watching. We can wait, we can watch, and change happens slowly, if at all. It does require intentionality and intentional design. And we keep talking about fixing the women. Women aren't broken. It's fixing the system. And so we have made a lot of progress, that is for sure. We talk especially women in sports. We've gone from a moment, oh, how cute, women are playing sports, to a movement, wow, to momentum. Oh my goodness. But momentum is only going to propel yourself forward if it becomes permanent. So this is how we start. This is how we continue. And investing in women is not a women's issue. It's actually a growth strategy. And that is where opportunity, where scale, where growth will come from, is invest in women, not because it's a nice to have, but because it's how we will truly change our economy. So that's where I feel we are, that's where we need to go, and we're already so well on our way. Just keep putting the pedal on the metal, keep pushing go, and accelerate, and don't overthink it. Don't think about what was, but think about possibility and where we could go.
So I want to expand on that a little bit with you, Rob. Many leaders still treat this as a nice to have versus a need to have, even though leaders, companies in the top quartile for gender diversity show that over 20% are more likely to outperform. So talk to me about that from the business perspective. How to shift the narrative from value driven to business critical, to Shelley's point?
No, well, thank you for the question, and thank you for hosting us here today. I appreciate being here a lot. Chris and Angie Long have been incredible partners in us building the Denver Summit FC, so it's great to be here today. Sorry I'm not putting the scarf on, but if you don't think women are competitive, I've got 26 players in Colorado that would probably kill me if they saw a picture of me wearing a current. I'm originally from Kansas, so other than July 3rd and September 26th, I will cheer for the Current. So, but now to get to the question, I think post-pandemic, if we're really honest, some of the progress that we've made for women has taken a little bit of a step back. And if you read the McKinsey report that just came out on women in the workplace, it actually confirms that fact, and we've known for decades and for years that this has been a challenge. It shouldn't be a challenge, because what we also know is that if women are given the same opportunity that men are given, without the boundaries of proximity, without the boundaries of informal systems, with really true opportunity to do that, where we can career path, where we provide sponsorship and mentorship, where we provide opportunity for them in the same way that men have, they perform at the same level, if not higher, than men do. Every study shows that. Every business that actually makes those kinds of moves and changes actually sees those kinds of results. And it's a lot of part of the way the system is done. It's around flexibility in the workplace. It's around a lot of things that we can do. And what we need to do is create workplaces that are good for everybody, regardless of gender. And that's what. Thank you. And that's what we're trying to do at IMA and at the Denver Summit.
And so I touched on this earlier, women are now nearly a third in C-suite roles, right? But there's still a lot of work to be done. And the first step is workforce participation, which we're focused on and talking about. But how do we move to women just being present, to women as leaders? How do we support them better in the workforce? Shelley?
I want to jump on the McKinsey study because, McKinsey does amazing work with women in the workforce and the participation. But a study just came out that kind of pissed me off because it talked about ambition gap, and that now we have an ambition gap. And how many of you have an ambition gap? Nobody. What does that mean, ambition gap? We have menopause, we have periods, we have an ambition gap, we have imposter syndrome. Really? Like, we don't have an ambition gap. I'm ambitious, you're ambitious, we're ambitious, right? I don't think that's the issue. We have an access gap. That is what we have. We have an access gap. And without the access, and not just access with decision-making power and with influence, then we get the experience capital. It's the experience capital. And so it all starts with the access. And I just love what you were talking about, Rob, because it is just so important when we talk about champions the change. I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman, if you're in a position of power, use that power and lift others up and give them that access and put them in the room where it happens, or as Brittany said, thank you, take the building, build the stadium, own the table and own the room. That's what we really need. And so I think that, when we look at performance versus potential, it's all about look at the potential, look at the possibility, be a pattern maker. or break a pattern and start a new one. If anyone still has paper bills, pull out a bill and you'll see a name on it called Rosie Rios, the former treasurer of the United States of America. I was in her office and I see an entire wall of women. I said, Rosie, who the hell are all these women? She said, they're all former treasurers of the United States of America. I said, that's not possible. Never heard of them. Truman put a woman in office, broke a pattern, started a new one, and once that pattern started, it became it. And every treasurer since then was a woman. So we all have that power to create the access and to create the changes that we need in this world.
I love that story, and I know Rosie Rios, and I had not heard that. I had been in her office, but I didn't notice it the same way. But to your point also, there's so many studies that said that men get promoted off of potential, women get promoted off of results, but we have to be in a position where we're giving women the opportunity to achieve those results. Rob, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, no, I would just add to that. I think it's about creating education and information, because we know from the studies that men will apply for a job if they're 25% qualified for that job. Women won't apply for a job unless they're 80 to 100% qualified for the job. And what we need to do is break down those barriers of understanding that unless you have that ambition and unless you have that drive, you can step up and actually apply for that same job that men apply for. And odds are high that you'll get it. I mean, at IMA, I'm quite proud of the promotions that we've done in the last year. 70% of them have gone to females, to women, and that's not because we're trying to fill some number, some quotient that we have. It's because they're the best, most qualified people for the job. And what we need to do is break down that barrier so that they'll actually apply for those positions and step out there and do that. And we've created a Women's Plus network in our company. There's now 1,000 members of it, both women and men. So you need the allies as a part of it as well, that are in that group. And the whole purpose of that group is to educate, to mentor, to show people the path, and break down the barriers. Because if we break down the barriers, the facts speak for themselves.
And so I love what you said while we were sitting down and we were listening to the powerful speeches of Wendy and Brittany, and we're so honored to be in the stadium here today. And you said that you're honored to be here to support it and to be an ally. And so how do we encourage more people like you? This work can't just fall on the women. How do we bring more men in leadership into the conversation broadly?
Yeah, it's the same thing I've been saying. So Melody Hobson, many of you may know, she's my partner in the Denver Summit. She's an incredible, dynamic female leader in the world. And she always says, math doesn't lie. And so when you actually look at the math and you look at the understanding of the economics that are involved in promoting and bringing women into the workplace, and elevating them, then that's a key part of what we need to do. And so we need men to be part of these women networks that we have in our company. We need to educate and inform and show them the results. And when we do, they'll make the same decisions they've always made. It's the right thing to do.
So Shelley, this is something that you and I have spoken about a lot, but it's, moving beyond just the workplace, still seeing a major gap in access to capital for women investors, right? The long-standing stat of only 2% of women get VC funding, that really hasn't moved the needle. We've been saying that stat over and over again for 5 years. But despite generating better profits than a lot of their male counterparts, twice the revenue per dollar invested, where are we seeing progress and where are we falling short? What can we do to help move the needle for female investors to keep investing in the community?
Well, I want to go back to, we don't just need female investors, we need investors. Period. And that's why when we talk about male allies, I'm like, it's not about male allies. We don't need Prince Charming to kiss Princess and wake her up from the sleep. We need allies. And I think they're leadership allies just to take the gender out of the equation. And when you look at investment, we know, and you just said this, Maneet, that less than 2% of VC funding goes to women, to female founders. And this one is shocking, but less than 1% of procurement dollars goes to women-owned businesses. So female founder, women-owned. Women-owned, 51% have to own businesses to qualify as women-owned. Less than 1%. Let me think about that. 99%, 1%. That's like ridiculous. And so it's back to intentionality and making conscious choice. There's plenty of amazing businesses out there, but it's making the invisible visible. And storytelling. With digital media today, we have this incredible power at our fingertips to share these stories of incredible people running and owning businesses. And when you go to investing and you go to the investment structures, most of those investment players are men. And so we don't have diversity even there. So I think that we have to stop playing the diversity game and look at the best businesses and just make those conscious choices to not just choose the legacy businesses that we've been investing in, but look at the opportunity of what else is out there and put your money where your growth will come from. Women, just saying.
That's such a powerful point. But one place where capital is flowing is investing in women's sports. NWSL expansion fees have gone from $2 million for Angel City in 2020 to $165 million for Atlanta.
By the way, that Angel City happened on my basketball court in my backyard. There's a female VC basketball game in my backyard. I don't play with them because they're too tough for me, but they met on the court, and that's how the investment happened. So you never know where things are going to come from.
Yeah, what a great story. And so we just had Brittany on this stage, and we're so honored by that, reshaping what ownership looks like today. Last year, we talked about your investment with Melody Hobson in the Denver Summit. Tell us what made that compelling for you and a must-have. I know I just interviewed Melody last week, so I got some good fodder from her. But tell us from your point of view why it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, and first of all, the most current expansion fee was Columbus, which was just announced a week ago at $205 million.
Oh, wow.
So up from $165 that Atlanta just paid 6 months ago. So look, I already quoted Melody of saying math doesn't lie. When Melody and I sat down, we're business people. We sat down and we put paper to the pen and laid out the math for building a franchise from scratch. And when we looked at it, the math doesn't lie. And that's one of the reasons as the Denver Summit, we're making the largest investment in women's sports ever made in the world. That's bigger than anything ever done in the WNBA, in the NWSL, or in any other women's league. And the reason is we know if we invest in women in the same way that we invest in men, we'll get the same results, not only on the pitch, but on the business side of what it is that we're doing. And so that's why we're building, a state-of-the-art performance center designed by women, built by women, for women. And when you do that, the building is different than it is for men. Because one of the things we know because of women's cycles, they train differently than men. I've learned more about women's cycle in the last year than I thought I would learn. But it's one of those things that in men's sports you'll do strength training all on the same day and recovery on a different day. But based on the cycle, you might do strength training for a woman on one day and recovery on a different day. And so we design the buildings differently. We design the systems differently. Same with the stadiums. We design them more for families. We have mothers' rooms. We have lighting at night, et cetera. And so there's tons of reasons why we invest in women's sports and why the math makes sense. And we're out to empower women and to prove that you can do it in a financially very strong way.
So we're out of time, but Shelley, I want to get some last thoughts from you really quick.
First of all, I loved you at hello, and now I understand why. I just posted something that talked about, I think it's less than 6% of sports research is done on women, which, women have not been in clinical trials until 1993. So we have some catching up to do and accelerating to do. And I wrote an article that says mice don't menstruate. So just think about the implications of what that means.
All right. Well, Rob, Shelley, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to United We for this great accomplishment opportunity.
You bet. Thank you.
Please welcome NFL Network host Kimmy Checks, Matt Linsky, President of Bank of America, Kansas City, and Missy Jenkins, Senior Vice President of Commercial at the Kansas City Current.
Hello, hello. Did you guys enjoy that conversation? Yes? It's so fun to look out in a stadium quite literally built for women and see over 1,000 female faces and allies staring back at you. Thank you guys for being here today. Thank you for committing to the work to ensuring that we equal the playing field for all. Now, this is deeply personal for me. I'm from Kansas City, and my journey with United We started all the way back in high school when I was a part of their junior leadership program. That helped to build my philanthropic journey. That helped to show me that women need a seat at the table even from day one. And now that continues in my journey, not only as a professional woman in sports, but also as a mom. So this is a full circle moment as I now also sit on the board of United We. So because of this work being so deeply personal, we wanted to do a little post-game report. I work for the NFL. We do these all the time, but more fun to do a post-game report about what we've heard on the stage. My one takeaway from this afternoon, one of many, is that when we make change, we have to do it with intentionality. Yes, we can build the stadium for us, but we need the partners to be alongside us. I also loved Shelley's words and her saying, it's not the women that need the fixing, it's the system. So it's on all of us to bark up all of the trees to change the systems. Matt, I want to ask you, as we do this little post-game wrap here, looking at the need for intentionality, not only in our businesses, but also in our communities, what stands out from you from our conversation this morning?
Yeah, well, thanks, Kimmy, and just fantastic comments. You know, for me, it's about what's possible, and it's about being intentional. And so congratulations, United We, 35 years, and Wendy, in your leadership. And it's intentional right there. And for Bank of America, we focus on what's possible. We ask our clients, what would you like the power to do? And United We, the KC Current, they've spoken, and this is what they wanted the power to do. And so these unbelievable signals, this tremendous support here and online, just shows what it takes to be intentional and what the results can be. And we're on the world stage being at the first purpose-built stadium, but we're also on the world stage for what's going to happen here in about 40 days. And I'm so just proud to be a Kansas Cityan, but just proud to be affiliated with great people like Missy for their leadership and what's going to happen right here, because there's going to be training at this very park. So it's fantastic.
Missy, what stood out to you? And if you want to give us a peek behind the curtain of what to expect in 40 days for the World Cup coming right here in our backyard in Kansas City.
Well, what a wonderful event. I get emotional looking out in the crowd, and seeing so many women, it feels like a match day when we experience such a great crowd here at CPKC Stadium. I feel very lucky every day that I get to work at such a beautiful and intentionally built building. What stood out to me today is that the stats and the reports that Rob and Shelley mentioned prove it. We've come a long way, but we also still have a really long way to go. And I feel very excited and empowered when I look out into this audience to know that there are so many women and men who are here to champion our young women and men out in the world, all of the kids, that this matters and that we still have a long way to go, but we are in very good hands with folks like this crowd here, with organizations like United We.
Now, I always love going to these incredible conversations, right? But at times it can feel really hard to have a tangible takeaway that you can take from the stage and into your own lives. Do you guys have one that for the 1,000+ faces in this audience today, they can take something tangible back to their communities so we can continue this impactful work?
The word intentionality has been used a lot today, and I think for me, it is all about being intentional. And it's not just the big things like building buildings, purpose-built for women, But it's the small things that can also make an impact. It's about how you show up in an office or in a meeting. It's how you raise voices and you get people to be able to participate and you advocate for them. So for me, it's really about being intentional, not just about the big decisions, but about the small decisions as well.
Yeah, and I had some notes already thought about, and just listening to the wonderful speakers, it really made me think about something different. And we have to be motivated to tell the story, but we all must be empowered to write the narrative. And that's where I feel like our opportunity really exists, is we have to do something about it bit by bit. And again, looking back on 35 successful years of United We, the great story about the business in St. Louis and how they had access to opportunity. So we have to be motivated to win.
Now, one final word, and Matt, I'll go to you on this one before we part. This may be the most important question as well. What can people do to support this work? How can we make this tangible?
There's a theme, right? Make it possible by being intentional. Make it possible by listening with both ears, closing your mouth, and understanding that all this success was because of people put blood, sweat, and tears on the line. They had a vision, and they weren't deterred by what's out there. And so we have that opportunity here, and again, United We is leading the vision.
Matt, Missy, thank you so much. As we wrap here, I want to give one last round of applause to our incredible presenting sponsor, Bank of America, as well as DJ Ness over in the corner, who's been bringing the vibes all morning long. I see you, we love you. And of course, our inaugural Champion for Change recipient, the incredible Brittany Mahomes. Before we head out for the morning, I have one last ask for all of you. The energy that we feel in this stadium, on this pitch, is palpable, but let's not just leave it here. Let's take it back into our communities, because that's what we need to truly move the needle. Now, in honor of United We's 35th anniversary of impact here, not only in the Midwest, but across the country, we have launched the 35th Anniversary Tribute Fund to help accelerate the next generation of this work. So, I ask all of you to consider a gift. It can be $35, $350, $3,500, $35,000. If you got it, we will happily take it to ensure that this work continues. Now, there's a QR code on the screen, and if you feel moved from the conversation or by wanting to impact your own communities, we ask you to give. Your philanthropic dollars will help continue our mission to ensure that we equal the playing field for everyone. If you believe in the future that we've sparked today, please invest in it right now. The time is now. Thank you for helping to build the momentum. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a woman. Thank you for being the example. Because we are united, we will always continue this work. Thank you so much. Thank you to Wendy Doyle, our fearless leader. Thank you to United We for continuing this mission. We hope all of you enjoyed our programming this morning, and to all of those who joined us virtually as well, we bid adieu. Thank you, everyone.